Are we on? All right, everyone. We are live periscoping in Atlanta, Georgia. How many of you have not used Periscope yet? What is Periscope, Elon?
It is a live video stream to the world.
So we are live here in Atlanta, Georgia, and as promised, I'm going to cover this topic. Millionaire mindset. What it really means is this: prosperity mindset. How many of you in here want to be a millionaire at some point in your career? In the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. Any of you millionaires already? That'll be you and I, Rhonda. So to be a millionaire means you have the assets of a millionaire. You can achieve 7 figures in a calendar year, but that does not mean that you are a millionaire. Millionaire means that you have the assets of. You're in a place that you no longer are controlled by debt. How many of you have debt? How many of you want to relieve yourself of debt and be free of that debt?
Yes. Yes.
How many of you own a business? How many of you are not skilled in that business yet, in the process of learning these skills? Skills, habits, and mindset, specifically of a millionaire. And we're going to qualify this, of a millionaire in my chosen vocation. Now I've qualified that, haven't I? The skills, habits, and mindset of my chosen vocation. How many of you have a real estate career? How many have real estate? A couple of you? How many of you do internet marketing? How many of you have intellectual property or marketing? How many of you are in a network marketing or a direct sales business? Okay, so most of you are in a network marketing and direct sales business. So you want to have to learn this, the skills of a millionaire in that industry or that vocation. The skills and habits of someone in this vocation, and then the mindset. So millionaire mindset means that you know what to do and do it daily. Success isn't so much about what you do, it's what you do daily. How many of you have average habits? Average habits. So this will make or break you right here. This can be learned. This is now. How many of you presently have a job? You have a job and you one day mythically, magically romance the opportunity to own your own business in free enterprise and create enough money, enough value, and enough service that you can attract and or create what the free market will bear. Professional athletes, actresses, entertainers, some of them have achieved $20 million or more per movie, per season, etc., correct? But their career is based on a different type of skill, habit, talent, and mindset. You got to be really, really good to win an Oscar, don't you? You have to be really, really good to play in one of the 4 major sports, don't you? The National Basketball Association, Major League Baseball, the NFL, or the NHL. And typically your career is going to be controlled by an injury, isn't it? The average length of anyone that plays in those 4 major sports, and you factor the WNBA or soccer or any sport like that, you're susceptible to an injury, correct? One injury, career over. In football, it's an ACL, lights out. Concussions, well, you don't require those kinds of skills. Your skills are going to be learned in about a 10-foot radius in your office called a desk. A lot of your skills are going to be mastered right there in your home office from the comfort of your home doing this. The 30-second commute. Jen, right? What have you done for most of your career?
I work for GE.
GE, General Electric? And what specifically did you do for General Electric?
I'm in the gas turbine power services industry.
And Jen is in the gas turbine power industry. Why do you want to own a business, Jen?
Because I want the next 20 years of my life to be different than the first 20 years of my career life.
All right, and why do you want to be a millionaire?
I want to start a foundation.
She wants to start a foundation, so that means that she has a cause. And then over here we have Ryan. Hi Ryan, how are you?
Hi, good.
Ryan, you live where?
Birmingham.
Birmingham. My favorite song is
Paint Me a Birmingham.
Paint Me a Birmingham by the great Tracy Lawrence. Is that a great song?
That is a great
Now,
song.
I wanted to be an aspiring singer, but that didn't happen in my career. I did it in business. Why do you want to be a millionaires?
I would like to travel the world. with my
Travel
children.
the world. Your why. Your why is your reason. Your reasons are your causes. They must be personal, and they must be identifiable specifically to you. You're going to have two whys. Why you do what you do, and then why you want to overcome what you do so you can have a why. What do you do for a career? What's your first name?
Jeff.
Jeff. I met you in 2001. You and I are connected through 6 degrees of separation by? Who's our connecting point? Michelle Steingard. That was back in the day. So in the annals of time, that was 14 years ago. You've been following me for 14 years, right? Have you seen my career evolve? All right, so that's what you want to be able to do. So here's where we're going to break this down. Millionaire mindset in this. 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, and 24 months. I have documentable proof of clients that I have coached, that I have watched, go from having a job, being a waitress, being an employee, within 24 months from the time I started coaching them, to they are now a millionaire or a millionaires. So a lot of it's timing, right place, right time, being in the right culture, having someone you can model yourself after, having someone you can mentor, and then also having the innate desire. You must have desire. You must have an insatiable desire not to become a millionaire, but to change. So you want to let go of your job skills, right? Job skills. Job skills, unfortunately, most of them don't translate into business. Some of them do, but most of them don't. Typically, if you have a job, you're conditioned and told what to do. You have to be able to condition yourself to be able to do what you tell yourself. But if you continue to say, I don't know what to do, and you get overwhelmed by the process, then you will spend your most valuable time doing this. AVOID, avoiding. And if you tend to avoid the process, then you burn your most, see people are going, that's me, if you burn your most valuable commodity. So if you want to go from here, 0 to 6 months, 6 months to 12 months, 12 months to 18 months, and 24 months, what I do daily. What is going to bring me the greatest return on my energy? Once again, how many of you own a network marketing business? You have a position in a company? So you have to have number one, leads. To be able to go from where you are to where you want to be, there's a centrifugal force. That means there's an undertow that has to happen. You have to change your story, right, Amir?
Yes.
It will change your story about why you do what you do. And if you have a drag or a pull on that centrifugal force, that can mean someone else is pulling you under it. That can be someone in your circle of influence, someone you're listening to, someone you're married to, someone in your circle of influence is putting information into your head that is not conducive to your outcome. You're going to have to be able to separate your feelings from what you seek to achieve. It means you can't let other people affect you. Your emotional state will be a direct reflection of the words you speak to yourself, the words you let other people say to you, and then how inspired you are in this process. You can virtually go from where you are today in 24 months. Who would commit to that? I didn't ask anyone to raise your hand. That's conditioning. I asked who would commit to it. Now I just showed you a perfect case in point of how you've been conditioned to behave in your left brain. Now how many of you are crinkling packages right now? Because your brain is saying, I'm hungry. In reality, you're going to be eating relatively soon, right? That's another situation you have to really address, is how you stuff your feelings. If you get overwhelmed and avoid the process, there's a high probability you'll end up in the pantry, happy hour, or the refrigerator. Is that correct?
Yes.
So it means you have to overcome some of your anxieties about your self-esteem, your lack in these situations. You have to be able to do this. Re-educate your expectations. You have to be able to re-educate your expectations. You have to expect to succeed, not expect to be average or expect to fail. How does this process happen? It happens now. Right, Jen?
Yep.
Is it yep or yes, Jenny?
Yes, Jeff.
Good. So yes is yes, yip is yip. Yes is only yes, yip, yeah, uh-huh, okay, and sure is not yes. Your brain does not register yip, yeah, uh-huh, okay, and sure. Your unconscious is a mirror. It mirrors exactly what you direct it to. This means this. I am clear in my clearly defined short-term goals. Does that register? Say it. I am clear in clearly defined short-term goals. So to be a millionaire, you also have to be a thousandaire. Before you can ever be a millionaire, you have to become a thousandaire. That means your first $1,000 check, your first $2,000 check, your first $3,000 check, your first $5,000 check, your first $7,500 check, your first $10,000 check. That's a breaking point, isn't it? Now you have broken through that situation, haven't you?
I have.
Now this is Melissa Marcantel. I'm going to bring Melissa up here. That was a really good move, right, Melissa?
That was a great move.
That was a great move. So this is Melissa Marcantel. This is my sister from another mister. Say hi, Melissa.
Hi.
Now, I brought you up here for a couple of reasons. Number one, you're photogenic, right?
I would say so.
Yeah, I would
Jeffrey.
say
Thank
so.
you.
So that means that you are one of these beautiful people, but you're also a very skilled businesswoman, correct?
I am Jeffrey.
I was your coach about 2 years ago, back when you were in that transition. You once were a six-figure income earner, multiple business owner, and you went through some of the same challenges I went through called RV rock bottom.
Right.
You went from having a Mercedes to a car you parked down the street. I've been there. The kind of car that you're too embarrassed to see your friends drive, remember that? Now you're back in what?
A Mercedes
Right,
Jeff.
that's because you're a Mercedes kind of girl.
That's
So
right.
if you were going to give him any tip on becoming a millionaire, what tip would you give him, Melissa?
Hire Jeffrey.
That's good. Thank you very much. Any of you considering hiring me today based on the content that I've distributed with you?
Yes.
Anyone, is that yes?
Yes.
Now what did I just do? I asked a qualifying question, didn't I? So now I know who my what? Who my buying audience is. That would be you. So millionaire habits, millionaire skills, millionaire mindset. That means you have a dialogue with money that's conducive to creating it. Money doesn't attract money. You have to be able to have the value and the service in some type of business model where you can create the compensation. Goods, products, and services. Now, so what's good about you, if you're in a network marketing business or a direct sales business, you don't have to come up with your own product. You don't have to come up with your own intellectual property. You don't have to be that creative. It means that you can leverage your energy through someone else's products, value, and service, specifically in a culture. You're not a solo entrepreneur. It means you don't have to create the culture all by yourself. There's an existing culture that you can plug into. There's a series of tools. There's a series of outsourced situations that you can use to be able to adapt and adjust to. What would you like to ask me today before you take off?
I would like to learn more.
And your name?
I'm Holly.
Holly, how are you? Where are you from, Holly?
I'm from here in Atlanta.
And you are how young?
21 years old.
21 years old, and you hired me a year ago when you were 20, correct?
Correct.
What would you like to ask me today?
Jeffrey, I would like for you to explain more about asking questions in a sequence.
Okay, so this would be a millionaire habit, correct?
Correct.
For you to be a millionaire specifically in your industry, this is a skill. Questions in a sequence means you're seeking to close sales, i.e. transactions, correct?
Correct.
That means that you're going to individually sell products and services on your own, but your objective is to be able to attract other people who can do that with you as well, right?
Correct.
To be able to effectively ask questions, you have to have this, a clearly defined goal in mind. It means the outcome. The reasons you're going to ask questions and an outcome is you're looking for a way to qualify buyers for your time. You want to be effective at this. 5 to 15 words begin with a question mark. You ever heard me say that?
Yes.
So if I'm standing in line in a grocery store, I can create small talk. If I'm anywhere in the world, I can create small talk by doing this. How are you today? Did you notice there's some sort of convention in the hotel here today?
Masons.
Yeah, Masons. There's a Freemason event going on today. So last night I was in the elevator on a couple of different occasions with more than one person in there at a time, and to be able to create communications, I ask a question. Where are you folks from? What are you here for today? How long have you been a Mason? These are small talk questions, aren't they? That is small talk. But then you want to be able to take small talk to fact finding. And fact finding to rapport building. Now, how is this a millionaire habit? Because you have to, if you own a leveraged business, you're required to build your culture inside the culture. You're going to get paid for selling products and services. Many people use the term sharing, but it's selling, sharing products and services. But you're also going to get paid for building a business through attracting other people who can produce similar results that you do, or have more skills and talent than you do. So that means you also have to be skilled at recruiting. Is recruiting a key skill?
Yes.
But to be able to do that, you have to feel comfortable enough in asking the questions to some people that you may perceive to be more valuable than you are in free enterprise. How many of you have challenges asking the questions of someone that you have a story about that they're more prosperous than you? I mean, why is that, Wendy?
I am less than.
So what Wendy said is that, and this is very common, is that many people will create a story about someone that they perceive to be successful, and then they will talk themselves out of the connection because of your story. Who's going to let go of that today?
Me.
You are seeking people who have influence and affluence. Influ and afflu. You're seeking people who have this. People who have influence have a circle of influence, and people who have affluence are already prosperous. Now this right here is Rhonda. Right, Rhonda? Here, Rhonda. This is Rhonda. Say hi, Rhonda.
Hi,
And you're from where, Rhonda?
I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee.
The reason I'm having you up here is because you have affluence. You are already a successful business owner, specifically in real estate, right?
Yes.
And in real estate, what have you created over the last several years?
We have grown our rental properties. We own over 100 rental properties. And we own and manage them. We totally manage them ourselves. We don't have anybody else that does that for us.
And that creates what kind of residual income monthly for you?
A very good one.
Okay, good. Have a seat. So that very good income means that she already has some affluence. Would you agree?
Yes.
So she already has the skills of a millionaires in another vocation. Now, there's a possibility, it's not a probability, but there is a possibility that she would be able to take some of those skills and be able to adapt them to another business. Because she's a multitasker. She gave you a couple of hints. What did she say?
We manage all of it.
Very good. Now, what does that mean?
That they're organized.
Multitasking skills, right? Now, how many of you, when Rhonda said that she owned a lot of properties, you would probably not approach that person as a prospect? How many of you would not approach her? Why?
Me,
Why?
because I'm inferior because they know so much.
No, you're not inferior. That's the story you tell yourself. You're equal to, but your past events have created an identity that says, I'm not good enough. So that talks you out of a millionaire mentality. That leaves you down as a thousandaire, right?
Correct.
That leaves you down probably $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. That's a GBM, a get-by mentality, rather than a millionaire mentality. Who wants to let go of their get-by mentality?
Me.
Why? Anyone, why? I have struggled enough. Struggle creates a counterforce. Struggle creates fiction. Struggle is not a flow. To have a millionaire mindset, you want to be able to have a prosperity mindset. Prosperity is prospero, i.e. in the flow. And if you're not in flow or in synchronization with your dreams, and you're going to be in resistance of it, you're going to be in a counter force of it. Power requires no force. Power is a very relaxed energy. Power is non-physical. It's not linear. Power is I'm in my power. I'm empowering myself. I'm empowering others. It's a different kind of energy, and there's no force. When there's no force, your law of average is enhanced. You will tend to attract a different type of person to your reality because you're not sending a mixed message. Make sense? When you don't send a mixed message, your vibrational energy changes. You begin to attract to your reality more like-minded individuals that are in alignment with yourself. You will attract more people that believe what you believe. Elon, come on up here. I want to ask you a couple questions. The more you understand cause and effect, why you do what you do, you'll have a much better opportunity to transform the way you operate. This is Elon Amir. Tell me who you are, Elon.
25-year-old from Boston, Massachusetts.
And in the
Millionaire apprentice for
Millionaire
Jeffrey Jones.
Apprentice. I sent out a Facebook post a little less than a year ago, right?
December.
Specifically for you, and you didn't answer it. Why?
That is
Why?
correct. I successfully talked myself out of deserving it. Thought I wasn't good enough. I read the list. I said internet marketing, didn't think I really understood it. Dealt with cars, money skills.
So I wrote a post on Facebook specifically with him in mind. He's one of the people that I had in mind. He was one of 5 people. He did not respond to it, so I called him. And what did I ask you?
Did I see his ad on Facebook?
And
I
what
said
did I
did.
ask you?
He said, why didn't you respond? I said, I successfully talked myself out of it. Then he said, would it be something you'd consider? I said yes.
So tell me a little bit about a millionaire mindset, what it means.
People ask me every day what I've taken away from Jeff. And the number one thing in business I've taken away is do everything you can now. So Jeff has a 1-hour time period during the day where he's free. So that would be from 1 to 2 p.m. That's his lunch break. He gets more done in that 1 hour than I would say about 98% of the population does in an entire work week. And I'm not exaggerating. He pays bills, he sends email, he does prospecting calls, he eats his lunch. He is on the ball in that 1 hour. We meet as a group to kind of reconvene and go over what's happening during the day, what has to happen, new projects we're working on, and where the current projects are. That's number one. Number two, this is in personal life, be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to show your true colors, because when you show who you really are and you don't forget where you came from, people are a lot more likely to connect with you and relate, because they're not looking at some superstar that doesn't know where they came from. They're saying, wow, I can relate to that, because it's often at an event, he'll tear up, he'll talk about his addictions, he'll talk about where he came from, and that allows you guys to relate very easily, because maybe some of you are in those positions.
Thank you. I'm going to cover another skill. So I don't live in a mansion. I'm a millionaire. I've been a millionaire for many years. I do not live in a mansion. Ask me why. I can't afford it. I don't buy things for image. I buy things because I can. I buy things that have value to me. I buy things that make sense to me. I live a very practical, average, ordinary existence that I can afford to live in. I live in a $500,000 house in a small city. It's a very nice house. I put $500,000 into it. It's custom, but it is not a mansion. I don't pay $10,000 a month overhead. I keep my overhead as low as possible, as practical. I put money away every single week for taxes. I put $5,000 a week to $7,000 a week for taxes. I pay taxes quarterly. September 15th was a tax day. I paid $80,000 quarterly. I also have payroll taxes that I pay monthly, another $20,000. So the more money you make, you have to have more skills. The more skills that you have, the better the probability the people you will attract. And the more money you make, you'll be attracting, you'll require other people in your circle of influence to do situations for you that take your most valuable commodity, time. What's your name back there, sir? You just came in? Marvin, how you doing today? Have we ever met Marvin?
Maybe 5 7 years ago.
And I believe we have met, have we? Where did we meet?
I think it was in Texas.
So that was a skill that I would remember you, wasn't it, Marvin? So this is something, if you're a millionaire, there's going to be a lot, especially if you're in a people business, you want to be able to be attentive, not pay attention. You don't buy attention. You'll be very, very attentive. And you also want to be a very skilled listener. So that you can do this, so you can hear what is meant, not just what is said. So that you become skilled at reading a situation for what it is. Now, the more skilled that you get in that situation, the better you will be in this process. Now, your why, your W-H-Y. Have a why that's personal, and if you're a philanthropist, have that, but also have a why that is personal to you. You want to have a reason to overcome your anxieties that keep you doing the same thing over and over. What's one of your whys?
My children.
Your children. That's not okay. That's about your children. What about you? That's still a why, but what about you?
To be completely debt-free and so that I can travel and give my kids the things that they need.
That's your kids. What about you? What are you seeing? She's doing what everyone does. That's important, but you see why I keep bringing it back to you? Because most people deflect it away from themselves. Your kids are your kids. Your kids are important, but you are also important. Something that's personal to you, for you, about you, that you have neglected. What's something you've neglected for you?
I don't
Anyone.
spend money on myself.
Why?
I want to be able to walk into a store and get whatever I
Why?
want.
Why haven't you? And do you spend money or do you invest money in self? There's a difference
I
between.
don't invest money in
Pardon?
myself
Why?
because I don't afford myself that luxury.
So something, but this can be simple. This doesn't have to be a $10,000 dress. What about a massage? What about a masseuse coming over to your house? See what I mean? So there's certain situations that we deny ourselves pleasure
Yes.
because we live in guilt, we live in overwhelm, and we deserve to have pleasure, right? The simple joy of life. One of my dreams as a millionaire is to be able to walk away from it all and never have to produce for money again. I'm not one of these people that have to be productive all day long. Production is not my identity. I produce for money, and I produce because I enjoy it, but I relax equally as effective. When I'm done, I am freaking done. I'm not consumed with what didn't happen. I read fiction, I watch movies, I like to travel, I like to dine out. Those are things I like to do. I romance what it would be like to go to every state in the Union and see some of the places that I have never seen. I want to see every battlefield in the Civil War. I want to go to the four corners of Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico. I want to go to where the Anasazis live, the people who walk through the fourth dimension. I want to go to Monument Valley. How many of you have never been to Mount Rushmore? How many of you have never been to Jackson Hole? How many of you have never been to Yellowstone? How many of you have never been to Yosemite? How many of you have never been to Sedona? These are some places that you should consider going to at some point. Would you agree? Some of these are spiritual places. How many of you practice spirituality? So that could also be part of your millionaire mindset, couldn't it? A millionaire mindset is not a mindset of money. A millionaire mindset is a mindset of relaxation. Because it's in the relaxation that's going to be able to allow you to attract the people that you can collaborate with. Money without a cause is money without a cause. Money without enjoyment is stagnant money. It's stale money. If you don't enjoy your money, what is the purpose of it? Because you can't take it with you, can you? Here's what's going to say my epitaph. This is exactly what I've already predetermined is going to be on my epitaph. No regrets. Lived life to the fullest since December 17th, 1987. That is my second birthday. That is the date that I got clean and sober. I committed to begin to live life to my fullest with no regrets from that date, 1987. I had been a prisoner of my addictions. I was not a millionaire. I was destitute. Money, success was so far removed from me. I was such in control of the control I controlled that I spent most of my morning trying to figure out where I was going to buy alcohol and trying to remember where I bought it the day before. Because I had a story in my head. I didn't want the same person to see me buying alcohol because I was too embarrassed that they might see me buying alcohol. I spent a good deal of my time in my head and in my control. It took me about 10 years of my time after recovery to start to become prosperous. Prosperity is a Latin term. It means in the flow, i.e. prospero. So the purpose of being able to create wealth, assets, is to be able to enjoy it, give it back. Whatever your purpose is, that's an individual situation. That is up to you. But you've got to be able to create that in a relaxed, relatable state. Meaning that as you go through this process, you're very relaxed in your emotional body, and you're relatable to people from multiple walks of life. So that as you go through life, you don't live in judgment, you live in prosperity, in a level of flow that you can attract your reality within a level of ease, people to your circle of influence that you can collaborate and create results and enjoyment with. That, to me, is a millionaire mindset. A millionaire mindset is not specifically about money. It's the person you become that you create the results with. Because that's the inner game of it. If you own a business, just like if you were in sports, and you want to be exceptional, better than average, if you want to be really good, well, all vocations and all exercises have an inner game. And the inner game breaks down to this, the Zen. The Zen becomes the yin and the yang. It's the give and take. It means the flexibility. To be flexible is to be one with, to be innate, so that you can live in this place where there is no separation from source. What does that mean? No separation from source. This is the spiritual aspect of it. It means that I'm not separate from, I am one with, I am whole. But if I'm separate from, it means that I let events from my past become my identity. Then I have a story about that creates the separation from the people that I require to collaborate with. This is when the I'm not good enough method becomes an identity. So that only relegates me to a small percent of the population that's in the same type of self-esteem I am, that I can create marginal results to stay average. That's what separation means. When I am one with, I am whole. That means in the universe that I'm in a spot where I can, in the quantum field of energy, when I'm one with, I can attract anyone. This means in 6 degrees of separation, I break it down to 1. And when you're in that space, then people show up. What does that mean? People show up. Elon, can you wrap this up here? When people show up, what does that mean? What does that mean?
They're following you. They're following your example. You give them hope for something.
Atlanta, Georgia, Millionaire Mindset, Periscope. Have a great day, everyone. So what does this mean, what I just covered? The whole...
Well.
Are we on? All right, everyone. We are live.